Hello, everybody. I'm Manyu.
Hi, I'm Jaya.
And how did you get here?
Well, honey, how did I get here? I had a curiosity for sure all my life about what is the purpose, what is the meaning of my life. And so I looked at it like changing jobs and trying to find a better job. And I looked at it like traveling. So I was traveling and trying to find another place to go to, or I went to Nepal searching. And I didn't think I knew what I was searching for, but I thought something was going to come to me, and let me know that that's it. That's the reason why I'm here. So I had that feeling, I had that yearning in me. But it was when I actually learnt the Bright Path meditation techniques that it just kind of felt right. It's like everything that I'd been hearing about different meditations or spirituality, it kind of made sense in this one class that I attended. And it felt easy, it felt doable. I didn't have to become a monk or like a Buddhist, that's what I was thinking back then, that's what people had to do. But it was something I could do in my life that I was already living. So I thought that was really nice. So I started to explore it, to do it, and to practice it. And it just made sense to me that that's what life should be like, that you can actually have this connection or tools that help you to connect in your daily life. So to me, it just made sense.
Yeah, so for me, I always had this strong belief in God.
Oh.
And there were a few moments in my life where I really felt that connection with God. I felt that God was present, but it was only a few. It wasn't very, very many, but I knew that it was like it existed. And so part of my search and I took various paths to like get here, but what was looking for that connection point, with the source, with God. And it seemed like it was such a difficult journey to like find that, because like nobody really had the answers. Really. Mm-hmm. Some people said like read the Bible and go to church, so I did that, and which was great. There's wonderful people there, but I never felt that intimate connection, that closeness. And that's really ultimately what I was searching for, even though I didn't really know exactly what it was that I was like searching for. And when I learned the Ishayas Bright Path meditation, I started to develop that. I started to like recognize that connection was within me. And by moving beyond the barriers of my mind and the barriers of my past, I was able to like recognize that source within. And so, it was the journey wasn't that comfortable, but was it worth it? Absolutely, it was worth it. And the Ishayas ascension made it all worthwhile.
I actually sensed that someone special was coming into my life. And I kind of didn't know if I should believe that or not, in the sense that it was very overwhelming for me, very, very clear. And so then when Manyu turned up, I recognized him, but I recognized him more, not in his appearance and his looks, but more like an ancientness, like I'd known him before. So for me, I was just like, here he is. This is the person I'm supposed to be with. And what that did though, is it didn't make sense to my head. So I had to, you had the same thing, didn't you? Like I had to go through this, this isn't normal, this isn't right, we need to date, I need to get to know him, who is this guy? Whereas in my heart, I already knew him. And so it was this kind of conflict to begin with, because it's like I could just say 1,000% yes, and that you're my husband to be, and yet my head was going, this isn't normal. You're supposed to take your time. And so the doubt I had was that I shouldn't be so confident that we're supposed to be together, but I just naturally was. and I actually just had to trust that, and that was what was so cool, was that you trusted me knowing that too. So you must have sensed something there as well. So I was able to just go, yeah, I'm 1,000% in. Like, I've met you, I'm in love with you, I know you, I want to be with you, without actually having to go through this whole dance that I'd done with previous relationships of, is this right? I need to know him, I need to take my time, I need to, that mind stuff that, I don't know, girls tend to have. I didn't have it for our relationship, and it was so freeing because I'd never had that experience of just 1,000% trust. And I don't know if I've ever told you that. That's what I had with you right from the beginning. Did you know that?
Yes, I think so.
Good answer.
We were doing a course, actually we were doing a course, and then the first time I asked her out on a date, we go to this restaurant, right? Oh, yeah. And so we end up going to the restaurant, and there's balloons and hearts and everywhere, like, and flowers and stuff all over on the tables. And we go and sit down, like, what's like going on? And the girl looks at us, she goes, well, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's.
But we were like doing a course, we didn't even know that it was like Valentine's Day. It was like kind of like funny. Huh?
Yeah, I remember that. And everyone's like, oh, you're out on your Valentine's date. And we're like, no, this is our first date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's the relationships before I learned to ascend and afterward are totally, totally different. Because before it was like, no matter what relationship if it was an intimate relationship or a relationship with friends or family, it was always kind of like looking to like get something out of it, looking for something there that would sustain me. Really, and basically what we're doing is we're looking for love on the outside, because that's what we're kind of like shown in some of the things that we're like taught. And so after I learned to ascend, I recognized I like had a choice to like actually begin to like be less self-violent and then love myself more. And as I began to do that, I recognized that my relationships began to change. I could like actually help people and share with people and give to people without having to get something back, and so I think after I learned that lesson, that's when you like showed up in my life.
Yeah, to help you.
Yeah, to help me, absolutely, absolutely. But it was easy though. It was super easy.
Yeah, and I think that's what I love about our dance is it sounds strange, I think, to most people, that to put yourself first or to really see who you are in the relationship. But typically, I think most people try to please their partner or try to change for their partner or judge their partner because it's all about, me and you, me and you. But what we're doing is, because we've got the passion to know ourselves first and to know the silence or God first within ourselves, then from that loving space towards myself, I can love you. I can love you more. I'm not like throwing all my judgments onto you and wanting you to change. I'm actually looking at how I can be a better version of myself. And then from that place, I then just embrace who you are. So to me, that's one of the major differences in previous relationships, when I was probably a nightmare. I was probably just trying to change them constantly and, demand different things from them, or trying to take their attention, make them, shower me with the love that I thought I needed from them, rather than just being so willing to give. So I hope I give to you a lot, baby.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. No, but it's a good point, because I know for me, there was no way I felt this sense of like wholeness, our completion, our fullness in my life before I learned to like ascend, before I learned to like meditate.
Yeah.
And so therefore, because of that, I was always like having to like take something from the outside to like make it more fulfilling or more rewarding. And it never worked.
No, it's hard.
It never worked. And so, it seems like it's kind of cliche, but it's actually true. You have to find that sense of wholeness, that sense of love within yourself, in order to like actually for a relationship to truly really work. And and we're still play with it. We still work on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's smooth riding all the time, but the good thing is, like, I know when if we're kind of like bumping or anything, like, I know it's me. I mean, of course, there's my word choices is you know, or whatever. But I really know it's me that's got the judgments, or it's me that's trying to control something. So, you know, it's an ongoing learning, but how freeing it is that it's more about peace or togetherness or love or our own experience of peace, rather than thinking that battling each other or fighting each other or trying to be right is a good relationship. Like, I'm so happy that that's not in our relationship. Like, I don't feel that that's even needed. It hasn't been in our relationship for so long.
Yeah.
And it's and I know it's common in a lot of relationships, because they're constantly trying to work it out or control or be right or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have our moments, but
Exactly.
it's not common.
Yeah. And even if you're right,
you're not
you
right.
don't need to be right.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more about then we enhance each other. Like well, you're very easy to love and admire, but I can shower that on you because I want to give that to you. I want you to be the greatest you can be, and hopefully I enhance that in you. You know, that's what I love about what we do and how we support each other. So there's no kind of like going on.
Yeah.
And if there is, you know, you're pretty clear to go, Jaya, why? What's going on? Oh yeah, you haven't eaten. Here, eat something. You know, it becomes super simple and super easy.
And what else becomes simpler is letting go of trying to control it, trying to control your ideas, your positions, your plan of what like has to be. I mean, it's great to have a plan and it's great to dream, but you know, sometimes it goes that way, and sometimes you have to be willing to let it go to go even a greater way. You know, and I know that you do that, and I work on it, and it's wonderful.
I was thinking the opposite way around. I went, gosh, how often do I plan? And that you're the one that's so fluid often. So I think we both see things, you know, work it out.
Yeah, cool.
I think I totally appreciate that we are on the same path together. And I know that's how we met and how we've gone forward over our 20 odd years. Yeah. And but because we speak the same language, we know what each other are doing, we know what we're focusing on, we know if we've got any kind of problems, we can just kind of help each other because we know why why I'm stuck or what I'm going through, to then offer me advice for my spiritual practice as well as just you know living life. So because we're on the same path, because we're both doing the same meditation practice, because we have the same focal point, you know, our love for God and our love for to be present, it's like we can support each other that way. And like, I mean, I'm with you all the time, so it's like you're constantly supporting me. I'm constantly showing you where you can, you know, just enhance yourself, or you can help me with my choice too. So it's like just endless support there. I love that because you're constantly showing me that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're showing me that too, and that's the one of the cool things about recognizing, you know, for me in our relationship is that you mirror back things to me. You mirror back the beauty, you mirror back truth, you mirror back love, but you also mirror back things of where I may be holding on, or judgments that I have, you know, and I can like see that and recognize that too, you know, and so, yeah, the whole dance. One of the most important parts of the dance for me is that phrase, seek first the kingdom of heaven and everything shall be given to you. And I realized that's what I really like wanted to like do my best to experience in this life. So that if I actually did find that source within, that the silence within, then everything else in life starts to become more and more whole, more and more full, more beauteous, more loving. And it's true. That's just that's the way that I experience it, you know. But whether or not you're on a spiritual path or not, everybody's in relationships. Everybody. There's, you know, relationships are a fundamental fundamental aspect of being a human being. And so there's a couple things that I could like talk about relationships, regardless of whether or not you're on a spiritual path, or even if you're not in a relationship, because you may not be in a one-on-one intimate relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife type of thing, but you do have relationships with your parents, or with your brothers or sisters, or your family, your friends. You're going to have relationships that way, your sons, your daughters, your people that you work with. So you have relationships. And it's real easy in a relationship to actually kind of like point your finger at somebody else and say they're the source of like how I feel. They're the ones that are like making me like feel this way. And I would just say investigate that, because you may recognize that all the outside does is trigger something that lies within you. And so the source of how you feel may lie within you, and somebody else is just reflecting that back to you. And so recognize that about like how you believe somebody else is like triggering you or making you feel that way. And the other thing is too, is that it's easy to move. The mind is very quick to move to a state of criticism and judgment against other people and against the world. And actually that's a choice. It's a choice that actually can become like an ingrained like habit. But the other habit that can, regardless if you learn to ascend or you're on a spiritual path, is that you could turn that into appreciation or gratitude. Gratitude for what you have, gratitude for where you're at right now, or simple appreciation for what is. And that'll flip your attitude. That'll change the way that you can see and feel about other people and relationships. Both those things work very well.
You stole mine. That's what I was going to talk about.
Well, say it your way.
Yeah. Of course, it's beautiful to be walking a path with somebody who's doing it with you. So you're doing it together. You're learning together. You're sharing together. Of course, that's lovely. But like you just so beautifully said, every human you meet, you're having some sort of contact with, some sort of relationship with, even if it's a stranger walking by on the street, even if it's a storekeeper in the local store, or even a new store that you've never been into before. So who are you in that relationship? Are you being kind to that person? Can you praise that person? Can you offer a smile to that person? Can you see beauty in that person? Can you leave that connection, that time of your life with that person, making them feel a little bit happier or nicer, or having a better day because of you? And I love playing with that. I love it. I think it's so beautiful that any relationship can be seen as, how can I give to it? How can I make someone a little bit happier? How can I walk into a store and then suddenly everyone's just happy and chatty, even if we're all strangers? And it's because maybe I invited that energy or that smile or that comment that created someone else's day to be filled with love and happiness. And we can all be playing with that all the time. And if we do that, then we're helping to create a better environment and a better world because of our own actions. And I think everyone can forever be playing with kindness or playing with praise, for sure. So we can all do that.
Yeah. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Kindness wins.